Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the World of Nutrition with Marilyn Lamer of Hawaii that we do every second Friday of the month. And we have two great guests today. So it'll be fun learning more about them. But bring in Marilyn here. Welcome, Marilyn. Good to see you as always.
Hello, Emily. Thank you so much for starting us off. I appreciate you. All right, everyone, welcome to the World of Nutrition podcast, where we talk about nutrition for your body, mind, and soul. I have two amazing guests today, and I'm really excited for you all to get to know them. First, I have Julia Vergara. So, Julia is a natural healer who has spent the past 20 years refining her gifts through multiple healing modalities. After navigating a life changing divorce, she was guided into a deep personal awakening through coaching and energy work. Since 2010, she has helped clients heal, find happiness, and step into conscious leadership using practical tools. By blending neuroscience, body based healing, and spiritual integration, Julia created the Align Way, a program for those ready to connect with their purpose and lead a life they are truly proud of. Welcome, Julia. Please tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Marilyn. What do you want to know about me?
How do you help with the body, mind, and soul?
Okay, so usually human beings, we manifest our discomfort through emotions or pain in the body or discomfort in the body. And a feel of unease overall could be mental, could be emotional, could be physical. And the three of them are based on our mental, spiritual, and emotional state. So those bodies are not really in this physical body, are out of our body. So we have several bodies beyond the physical, the energetic, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional. All of them are around us. And depending what happened with those bodies, they affect ours, which is the one that we feel. So when we feel anxiety, already something happened in this body that we didn't take care of it. So then now it's manifesting in the physical, or if we have something emotionally going on, same thing. It manifested here, but we didn't feel it because we are disconnected usually because, matter, like our physical body, is really heavy. So for us to feel energy, it's very like we need a training. And you as a Reiki practitioner, you know it, that we need to be in tune with our physical bodies and in tune with our spiritual and in tune to feel beyond this. So my job as a coach and healer is to teach my clients how to get this connection. At the beginning, they come to me maybe lost, maybe they don't know. So I start teaching them and giving them tools so they start being more connected to their heart, to their intuition, make better decisions, create better relationships, become the parents and leaders that they want, being more connected to their soul. It is non-religious based because I get confused by a Christian. So when I talk about spiritual things, people think that I'm Christian. I'm not. It's spiritual based because we are all spirits. We are all souls. And I have, again, as you said in the introduction, 10 different healing techniques that I have learned in the last 20 years when I was looking to heal my life. I didn't start it by, oh, I'm going to get the diplomas to have a PhD or to have something so I can help people. No, it was me in my own journey. Everything started with my second divorce from the same husband. And I started looking into, okay, I'm going to learn Reiki, and then I'm going to learn pranic healing, and then I'm going to learn mediumship, and then I'm going to learn angel therapy, and I'm going to learn multidimensional with the Mayans. I went to Mexico to learn with the Mayans for a couple of months, couple of trips, different December 2012 and 2013. I went there and I learned with them. I learned with the Mayans, with the Hawaiians too. And again, I was still looking for how could I heal myself and everything. And then I started like, oh my God, my clients could benefit from this. So my life coaching clients, when I approach them, is not just, okay, let's talk about your life. Tell me I give just tools or books or, positive thinking and whatever meditation. It's beyond that, just because I was in my own journey of healing myself. Like the last technique that I learned was family constellations, which helps a lot with certain heaviness that we carry in an invisible DNA that we share with our ancestors. So it's really neat, and I enjoy what I do. I love my clients. There's no person in front of me that is not meant to be in front of me, and vice versa. So I'm really happy to help them through the journey that they are going through, that I went through. So everything that I help with, I already did in my life.
That's so beautiful. And I didn't realize it was 10. Like you have done a lot of inner work. And I know, I've been doing a lot of inner work and just figuring out how we can, because we have to put on our oxygen mask on first before we can help others. And you are such a great example of that. And I would love to hear maybe one or two of your favorite stories or testimonies on how you were able to help your clients go through different um, struggles or challenges.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. I had this male client that ended up with being in ICU with an infection in the mediastinum, which is the cavity that holds the heart. That was oh my God, he was the husband of a friend of mine. And she's like, oh, this is happening to him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why? No, he got an infection in his throat that went down to the heart and almost killed him. And I'm like, and I started, tuning in with spirit to see why this weirdness happened. And I told her, you know what? I can help him. And he came to me and we talked about the infection that he had in his throat. So I said, how this infection started, even though it was the heart, even though he was in a coma for a little bit, for a couple of weeks, they had him in an induced coma. Then I said, no, it's the throat. What happened? And he was like, he got into not an argument really bad with the ex-wife. This ex-wife of his, because my friend is his wife, his present wife, but the other one, 15 years ago, they got divorced. And the thing happened now. So when we started working with it and going deeper in the layers of maybe grieving something or blah, 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 we end up in his childhood not being able to express himself because his mom always told him, no, don't say anything, shut up, go to your room. There's no time to talk. In this house goes what I said, blah, blah, blah. He grew up that way, like suppressing his communication. During his first marriage and divorce, he was so angry at some point and he never expressed it. He never yelled at her. He never, nothing. And when we get divorced or when something like this happened or when someone passed away, we continue our lives. We need to continue like working and providing for others and doing our things. So we don't have a pause to grieve. We should have like a maternity leave for events like this. Like you need at least 3 months of doing nothing and just going in, but we don't have that. So in 15 years, he didn't do it until his own ex-wife triggered it and it went to the heart. And it went to the heart basically because in our heart is where we actually feel, besides of the physiology and anatomy that I have a degree on. I have a natural health degree on, so I know that there's bacteria and actually the throat and the heart are really linked and the whole thing. But why it doesn't happen to everybody? So he had a weakened energy field that came from emotion, that came from mental, that came from childhood. So I am not a psychologist, but I need to go sometimes where the road takes me. And it took me to mom, ex-wife, and present moment. And we heal it.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
I love
that was
that.
amazing and crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people don't realize like, oh, what's happening present must be something in the present. No, it's like something that we've repressed or possibly didn't even know, right? And an event that happened that started it where we carry it on, and getting to do the inner work and releasing it is so freeing. So that's what I love about what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what a powerful story. Please share another one. I would love to hear.
Another one, a client of mine that was already life coaching client. So she was a regular person just wanting a better life, maybe change her job, just general, no trouble. She wasn't getting divorced. She wasn't in like, people sometimes come to me when they're getting divorced, when they're in an, very critical situation for me to save them, basically, like an ICU situation. But no, probably 70%, they come to me just because they want a better life. They want to reach their goals. They want better relationships. They already notice that there's a pattern in their communication or behavior that maybe has a root somewhere else. And they already maybe went to therapy, and therapy works 50% of the time and not everything, because therapy is more for the past and talk about it and maybe tools. But coaching is past, tools, and me being with you in the path and the plan to make this transition. Same with the healing, which the healing is deeper, because actually we go to places that you don't even know, that in a conversation they don't come, right? That in our subconscious mind, as they call it, but it's many layers. Anyway, I was working with her, and all of a sudden she said, I want to lose weight. And I was like, okay, I'm not a health coach either, so I cannot really give her any clues about it. I'm not a nutritionist, even though I have knowledge about it. But my thing was, what is keeping her from losing weight? Because somebody who wants to lose weight has tried already something. Either they go to a nutritionist, they already are doing sports, they have a couple of diets or 3 or 4, bouncing back and forth. So my goal is to go deeper to, where do you get this from? So there were 2 places that she got it from. One, we did family constellations for it. And it was about something about her mom and her that she wasn't aware, because her mom passed away when she was 3 years old. So how would she know? The only way is to go deeper, right? In the subconscious, and find, what did I get link with it? And as soon as we did the family constellation, everything was settled, and she found her way, and she made it conscious. Because what family constellations does is to go to the subconscious, then bring it to the consciousness. And when you have it in front of you, then you can work on it. But if you don't know what it is that is running the show, it's going to be impossible to change. That's why people go back and forth. I want to change, I want to change, I want to change, but something is stopping me from changing. So we did that one. But this is the funny part. There's another therapy that I do that is called spiritual releasement therapy. And I know certain symptoms that people could have. Basically, with her symptoms were, I want to do it, but I'm not consistent doing it. And I want to do it again, but I'm not. And I'm having a little bit of negative thoughts about it. And I'm like struggling between being stubborn about it. I want it, but I don't want it. It was like a confusion. It wasn't bad, because I have clients that they have bad symptoms, but she wasn't that bad symptoms. So we did several. She was a client of mine for 9 years. And through the 9 years, what I did with her, since I had her so long, was every 6 months, we would do a whole day of cleansing every single part of her spirit, and 3 hours only with this therapy. And this therapy, one of the things that happen is that we get attachments, spiritual attachments in our bodies of souls that haven't crossed over. So basically earthbound spirits, they get attached to us for different reasons. I'm not gonna go into detail, but there are certain things that we are vulnerable, and that's why they get attached to us. And there was, in one of the therapies that in one of the sessions that we did, there was this guy that came through, and he said to me, I asked him, what do you make her do? Because usually spirits make us do things, behaviors, whatever. So I said, what do you make her do? And he's like, I was the one in charge of keeping all the chocolates and snacks in her, underneath her bed when she was a child. Okay, I continue, and I send that spirit to the light, making sure that he's fine. I don't do exorcism. I talk with every single spirit, and I make sure that they go to the light, because exorcism is a forceful process that the only thing that they make is to put the spirits out of the body, and the person feels perfect, and then they come back because they didn't go where they're supposed to go. So I have a conversation. It's a therapy. I'm a therapist for the spirits, basically. So I make sure that the guy went to the light and he's not going to come back, and he's already with his loved ones, blah, blah, blah. I finished the session, and since she is in a hypnotic state, so in hypnosis, sometimes you remember things, sometimes you don't. So I told her, do you remember this? And you remember this? And when I told her, and she's like, I asked her, hey, did you hide chocolates under your bed when you were a child? And she's like, how do you know that? I'm like, the spirit that it was making you do that told me. So that wasn't the only spirit that made her gain weight since her childhood. There were more. In several occasions, they show up, and I ask them, what do you make her do, and so on. But this one was really funny because she really got surprised about how did I know. And I said, the spirit that make you do it told me. And that is a very, I would say, fun, deep, transformational, like powerful kind of therapy that I do, because not only my client, it's free now to actually do the life and make everything that they want and reach the goals that they want, not only because of that result, but because of the understanding that my client now knows what happened when we die, because they see them. They see the light. They see that they go to the light. They see the process of there's no hell, that it was a boo-boo that somebody invented. There's no hell. Everybody goes to the light as long as we forgive ourselves and forgive others. That's it. That's the only requirement. I have taken criminals out of bodies, and they went to the light. There was one long time ago. This was Maui, 15 years ago. It was one of my first clients. And it's going to be quick. And he said, I don't want to go to the light. I see the light far away, because that is the other one. You see it far when you cannot really connect. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm afraid. And I'm like, what are you afraid of? And my client started to cry because she's channeling the spirit. And he was, because I killed my wife and my child, and I killed myself. And I'm like, okay, what you're fearful for? That they haven't forgiven me. So I said, okay, look at the light and try to call them to see if they come. And he's like, yeah, they're coming. And he started crying and crying and crying. Are they smiling at you? Yeah, they're smiling. do they want to hold your hand? Yes, but I don't know why. I'm feeling good, but no, I did. Okay, can you forgive yourself? Because they already forgave you. You can see it in their faces. And he's like, okay, yes, I can see it. I feel, the light and I feel them. Okay, so I tell them, grab really hard that hand and don't let go until you're with them on the other side. Do you feel okay going? Yes, I feel okay going. And he went and, he killed. So yes, everybody goes to the light. And my clients now, not only because I told them there's no hell, oh yeah, I'm gonna believe Julia, I don't know, Julia, I go by both names, or you're experiencing it and now you know that we all go to the light, right? So it's really powerful and gives my clients knowledge that it empowers them to live a life, in the light here.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. And you do so many different modalities. I know you do massage therapy as well, and you're just very gifted. Please share with us how people can find you and if you have any upcoming events.
Okay. So I do one event that I haven't taken out of my events for the last 15 years. I've been doing vision board retreats once a year. That usually is in January or so. That one, of course, is not available anymore this year, but in my website, I always post all my events. So my website is my name, last name.com, juliavergara.com. And you can see the side of the coaching, or you can go to other services and you see all of these techniques that I was talking about. And there's a place for events that you can check out. There are no events coming soon, so I don't have really anything to advertise right now, but they're going to be posted in my website all the time.
Perfect. And you have social media as well?
Yes, I've been out of social media for a while.
Okay.
I am gonna be posting more in YouTube soon because I talk a lot, as you can tell. So my Facebook is Julia Vergara and my Instagram is Julia Vergara Life Coach. Those two, I have LinkedIn, but probably Instagram will be the easiest and more beautiful way to see everything that I posted until 2024, I think, is when I left social media. But I'm gonna go back different, so stay tuned.
Oh, that's exciting. Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on a World of Nutrition podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. And I did want to introduce our next guest, Juanita Kaʻāhanui. Juanita is a Honolulu Museum of Art award-winning multidisciplinary painter, Native American artist, and mother of four based in Hawaii. A descendant of Aztec Emperor Montezuma, hopefully I'm saying that right, the second, she weaves ancestral fire, cultural sovereignty, and the stories of the land into vibrant oil paintings. Her Dreams of Pele series embodies volcanic power and feminine strength. And her work has been featured on Netflix's Untamed, as well as Hawaii Five-0, Magnum PI, inspiring connection between people, place, and spirit. So Juanita, thank you so much for being
Hi.
here.
Aloha. Hola. ¿Qué tal? I'm so happy to be here, Marilyn.
Me too. Yes, tell us a little bit more, because art is just so amazing to me, and I love watching you paint. I love all the art that you post. Please share with us more how it helps with the body, mind, and soul.
Well, for me, my journey as an artist came from a bad breakup with my boy's dad, and it was domestic violence. So originally, I never could paint. I was a writer. I did business consulting. I went to school for archaeology. I was an archaeologist for 20 years. And so that became part of art therapy, became part of my healing journey. And after a while, I guess God hit me with this gift of painting. So all of a sudden I can paint, I can draw. And what I realized, it was like that was my peace, and I would create so much peace and zen. And the ladies who were in the art therapy who had suffered from like human trafficking, other forms of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, they started to feel all the peace and the zen. And they were just like, every week they would be like, Juanita, you're getting better. You need to become an artist. God's giving you a gift. And I'd be like, no, no. And then finally, I just realized it got to the point where I was painting like 6 to 8 hours a day, and I wanted to go to school to learn how all the rules so I could break the rules. And then from there, I just said, God, show me a sign that I'm meant to be an artist. And I got invited to produce 2 works for Hawaii Five-0 for their Latin American episode. And I just thought that was the biggest sign. And I got to paint my version of a Diego Rivera painting and a Spanish dancer. So not only did I get to honor my roots, but I also like was rooted in a place that where I raised my children. My kids are Native Hawaiian. And I love living in Hawaii, and I love that connection to this land. And I think for me, the art started off as a really powerful healing journey. And then from there, I realized how much power art has. And that I would only paint when I was spiritually clear. So I do like my sage. I'm not able to paint when I'm drinking, if I smoked any marijuana. I have to be clear source channel. And what I realize is that that is encoded in the paintings. And so when people buy my work, have it in their homes, they have that really beautiful energy that I'm very conscious and responsible of. And so I think back to like mind, body, and soul, and what people don't tell you, people think art is a luxury. And there's a reason why all the wealthiest elite people in the world have the best art in the world and the most expensive art. And it's because these paintings hold a lot of power. And I'd like to share with you that art is actually not a luxury. In indigenous cultures, in Aztec, Mexica culture, there and even further back into Mayan culture, art was part of every day. There were schools for artisans and craftsmen, and it was part of the culture so that everyone could like have that energy of the art uplift their lives and their goals and their connection to source, to God, to spirit, to their ancestors. And so what I realized is that art is a necessity to have in your house. And you can actually justify it because every single day a painting's having a real painting that's painted by an artist, not a copy, not a print, is having a conversation with you. It's telling you new things about yourself. Each painting has a story, and a lot of people want me to tell the story, but that story is really between the viewer and the painting itself. And it constantly is shifting, revealing, and you'll see new things in a painting. And so I think people think like, oh, paintings and original paintings are only to be viewed in a gallery or in a museum. And that's the psyop of Western society, to stop you from having that healing in your own life. And a lot of people think, well, I can't afford original art. But there's so many amazing original artists, and they sell paintings from as low as $200, $400. And those paintings, original paintings, will outlive you. They will live past 7, 8, 9 generations. Where you buy a car, how long does a car last? 10 years, 20 years if you're lucky. A bathroom remodel, you spend a house remodel, and it's like outdated 10, 15, 20 years. A fancy bag, fancy shoes, all these material things that you want to have something say something about you, they wear out in a few months if you're wearing them a lot. Whereas art, you can't wear it out, and it's it's something that uplifts a space and anchors a space.
I learned so much from you every time we talk, and I love this. Your it's encoded in the paintings. Your energy is encoded in the painting. Like I never thought about that. That is so beautiful. And the painting holds a lot of power. Yeah, that
And
makes
that's why I
so
want to break that model where they're telling artists that they have to be starving artists or in lack, because that's what's being put into the art. And it's like, no, you come from abundance, come from filling up your cup, come from observing the world.
yeah, and you're talking about, support the living artists. Like how cool is that? You get to meet them, know them, talk to them about their inspiration.
So yeah, when you think about it, like what I aim to do in my lifetime is to flip the switch. So there's trillions of dollars that's spent in art, but all of those artists are dead or they're very old and they don't see any of that income. And so for me, it's like you're buying from dead people, dead energy. And so the thing is like, what is more powerful than creating and buying art from someone who's living, who's still creating, and that journey lives through you. And so that's where I want to flip the script where it's like, let the artist see that, let them experience that, because most artists are like of the earth. They're of the streets. They're like most artists, if you're doing art full time, you're under the poverty line of income. So you're learning how to live with less and create just from pure source, just from no money's telling you what to create. You're just creating. And so that is just such powerful, powerful energy. Now imagine if we start pouring economic resources into artists, what would you see? And how could they uplift humanity? And I really feel like artists are the first ones to create resistance, and to speak up around the world, even if their art isn't showing that, that's within us. And we have the ability to create peace and harmony. Artists can create anything, good and bad.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I think about like, because you're so knowledgeable and I'm learning so much about the art world from you. Like, I would love for you to share about your three paintings that you have at Manifest, with your sons and their moon as they were being born.
So I have a series and it's called Ao Malama Lama, and it's 3 panels. And the 3 panels, each one represents, and it's rooted in like studying Hawaiian culture. So Hawaiian culture led me into studying my own self and my own culture. And what I learned was like Hawaiian protocols are the same protocols in any indigenous culture. You revere the elders, you observe, you ask for permission, you give before you receive. And so in this series, I have 3 panels that represent all 3 sons. And one represents their Hawaiian name. So it's their Hawaiian name, their moon phase of when they were born. It has the triangles, the genealogy of them. And yeah, so it's just like observing their names were given to them as well by their Hawaiian grandfather. And so my aim was to really just like, what was the night sky like when they were born? And I painted that scene. So um I was like, I wish I had the photos. I can actually show them to you. I can bring them in. Hold on, they're right over here.
Yeah, so she has them, and it was just so beautiful to see the three panels and then how it connected to each of her three boys. Like, and then art is just, so experiential. So being able to go down there, in downtown Honolulu and be able to spend time and looking, at her art.
Okay, so this one, let's see. you can see the moon phase, and there's a tiny little star, and it's super dark out, and then the triangles that represent their genealogy, and also yeah, so it represents their genealogy, and then the middle one is my son was born at sunset in town. So it's just very bright. The pink represents my womb. So each painting has the pink underpainting. And reminding them that I made them with their dad. So yeah, it's just beautiful. But like, so my son's name, Blaze, his name is Kikama Ona Hoku Alohi Ikapu, which means the boy child that shines like a bright star in the night sky. So I purposely put a little star in there. You kind of just have to look for it. And I put the moon phase. Yeah, it was really fun to honor them. I did a big painting of my daughter, and my boys always felt left out. And so this was my way to honor them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I know you always are doing amazing things within the art community. So please share with us like some of the events that you have coming up and how people can find you.
So right now I have my Dreams of Pele series. These are like that's a painting I'm working on right now. So I have the finished paintings up at Proof Social Club on Chaplain Lane in Chinatown. And so those are up for viewings, a preview for an art show that I'm going to be doing on May 9th in my studio here. And it coincides with Heart Art Street Festival. So there's going to be a huge Heart Art Festival on Nu'uanu. And there's going to be people, you get to be involved in the art. So a lot of the booths are, you're going to be making art. You can take the art with you. You get to connect with other artists. And then for my booth, I'll be having a $15 ticket where you check in and then you go upstairs to the studio to look at the exhibit, the art exhibition. And then one of the paintings appeared on Untamed. So it just was filmed for season 2 on Untamed. And you'll get to see that in the show. And I'll share more about my story with that.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was just texting you about that because I'm like, they were just filming Untamed 2 on my street, and I would have like stalked your painting if I had known.
The painting.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So
Yeah.
good.
So, I mean, the video doesn't do justice. You got to experience it. Yeah, but Untamed, I'm excited. So that's probably going to come out. It's for season 2 in 2027. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's on,
Awesome.
you can catch season 1 right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, and please share with us like any last words or any like ahas or things that you, because I mean, you just really shed so much light about the art community and what artists are going through that, I have never heard of. So please share with us a little bit more.
Yeah. So I think what is happening is like there's a huge artist community in Chinatown, and none of the artists actually make a living from their art. And so people want to come take a look at the art, but they're not really buying the art. And so that's where I just want people to start thinking like, why art is it's not even an investment, it's a necessity. And what positive impacts that'll do for you in your home and in your space, and transform your own mental health as well. You know, if you have a room if you have a goal for a room, like let's say you want your bedroom now to be romantic, then you can have original painting that has that romantic energy in it. And so if you want more peace, you can find a painting. If you, and the painting has to speak to you, right? So it's just like, if you see something and it feels good to you and it's like, oh, I love the way that feels, put it in your space and put it on your walls. Yeah, it's just a big thing. And then right now, I'm just, obsessed. Pele wakes me up and I start painting a new painting or a new series, and then she erupts. And what I'm really learning from her right now is that no matter what destruction's happening in the world, or even because there's destruction happening, then it's our responsibility to create. And like, we have to just keep on creating. And I have to keep on painting. Because sometimes it feels like, what's the point? What's the point of creating? And I realized like we are the keepers of that energy, of that creation energy. And it's so vital to have that energy in your space, but also for you to go and create. And it can be simple as, how am I going to create my day today? And just
Mhm.
looking at your day of a form of creation. And that's what art inspires us and reminds us that we are the creators and we are the keepers of that.
You know what that reminded me of too, Juanita, is that as you're painting it, and as we have the living artists work in our homes, in our space, where we spend the most time, that's what's helping us to keep present in our lives as well.
Yeah, it's you become so anchored. Like when I have the hardest time leaving my house because I'll listen to a record on the album, like on the record player. So I like to get off of technology as much as I can. I love technology too. But in the mornings, and then I'll make my coffee in the French press and add like my cinnamon, and I make my own oat milk every morning. And then I'm just sitting with the paintings. And a lot of I've been gifted like collections of art of paintings. So it's not just my own paintings in the house. And I just love being with it and just being in that space. And when people come, they enjoy being in the space as well. It's welcoming and inviting and stirs a conversation. Yep.
Yeah, I love seeing all of your paintings in your home, in your house, and your vinyl records, and your sound bowl, and all the things. So yeah, it's amazing. So thankful.
I'm really grateful to be here, and especially with Julia too, and all of her ancestral, like spiritual modalities. It's so powerful, and we don't realize like we bring that into everything we do.
Yeah, I was just thinking, gosh, I love it that the both of you are on this podcast at the same time and get to hear each other and meet each other. And, and this is what I love doing, is making connections with people who wouldn't normally be able to meet, would it
Yeah.
not be for the podcast? Because, there's just so many things going on around the world. And then we get to come and be present here and share our gifts as well. So thank you so much for being on today.
Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. It's so awesome. And I love family constellation work that Julia does too. And I'm sure we have lots of nuggets to share with each other in the future with her studies and with the Mayan community as well.
Yeah, I was like hearing all the synchronicities. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. So cool. Well, thank you again. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Oh yeah, I guess you can find me on my website, juanitakaʻāhanui.com. And then I'm on Instagram as artist_Juanita. And yeah, I'd love to see you at my art show. So go get your tickets May 9th. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, awesome. I'm looking forward to that. All right. And I just wanted to thank um, Mutual Aid Network, who is a sponsor of this podcast. Like, everybody has gifts, and not everyone has the means to, be able to utilize everybody's talents. So what I love about Mutual Aid Network is we all share our gifts with each other. So, I have Emily, Kurt, and Sue here, and they help me to run the podcast. And then I help to run Zoom karaoke every so often when they have their events, and possibly even more collaborations are in the work. I'll be talking with Kurt about that. And so, like, all of us have gifts, and we can all share it with them around the world. And I love hearing people sing from around the world, We've had former professional singers, artists, musicians, and it's just fantastic because everyone comes together with music, right? And so that's one of the ways that I'm able to give back. And so we're just really thankful for Mutual Aid Network. And then also like Julia said, I also do Reiki, and then I'm an affiliate of Frequent. So it's frequency infused nutrition. And I love this company so much. I've known the CEOs for over a decade. I love their hearts to help people. And that's why I feel that God put me on this earth as well to help others as well. So just a short testimony from Frequent is their Rise Lemonade Nootropics. It has 7 organic mushrooms. I drink it every morning and I do a little video about it, and it helps with my brain. It helps boost my immune system, helps with motivation, concentration, mood, mental clarity, all those great things. So if that's something that you're looking for that's infused with 11 harmonic frequencies just to help raise our frequency and vibration, I would love to connect with you. I'm also on social media, Marilyn Lamer, and I have my website as well, marilynlamer.com. All right, we will see you next month on another World of Nutrition podcast.